Good morning, all children and youth. Welcome back. We're so excited to be doing live services with you again so that wherever you are, we're all meeting at once. And we are so excited with some youth events and children events launching this past week. And this week, we're so excited to see all of you again, to connect with you. And every week here on Sunday morning, we're so excited to share a short children's time with you. So for this back to the same time, back to live week, we're going to go back to the beginning. This week, I saw the verse on our own flyers that said, "Do not grow weary in doing good." And that sent me back to the very beginning of our whole creation story in our Bible, to our start with a good God. We're going to sing songs, maybe not this week, but some week, that show how good our God is. Some songs that say that we have a good Father. Some songs that repeat over and over and over again, "You are good, so good," or "You are good, oh good." We have a good God. And in the very beginning of our story, our creation story in the Bible, we see another thing that is good. God creates the heavens and the earth, and what does he say? People who are here, what does he say they are? Good. He says they're good. He creates the sun, the moon, the stars, and what does he say they are? Good. He creates the earth, the plants, he creates even the vegetables, and he said they are good. He creates the fish in the sea and the animals that move on the ground and in the sky, and what does he say they are? Good. They are good because they are made by a good creator. And they show how amazing this creator is, how creative he is, and how good he is. They reflect the nature of our good God. And then he decided, hey, you know what? I want to be in a relationship. And you know what? I'm going to create this next creation in my own image. So when other people see them, they will see who I am. They will see the image of who I am, and they will say, wow, that is a good God. And so he created people, and he said they were very good. They were very good because they were reflecting the image of who God was. Now, even though God had a good plan, and he was a good God, and he created a good creation that showed how amazing he was, humans had another plan, and they thought, you know what, we want to decide what's good and what's not good. And what we decided was good did not necessarily reflect the nature of God. It didn't show the loving, amazing, glory-worthy God that we have. It showed up less than good. And so you'll probably see that in the world around you. There's some good, and then there's some not so good things that came from us deciding what we thought was good, reflecting ourselves rather than reflecting our God. Now we have this verse that says, "Do not grow weary of doing good." Galatians 6:9. Do not grow weary of doing good. Do not grow weary of reflecting, showing who our amazing God is and who he created us to be. So I'm going to use a little demonstration that I found helpful, and I'm going to use some of my niece's play kit. Thanks, Lottie. And I'm going to show what God meant when he said, do not grow weary of doing good. Because maybe sometimes you think, oh my goodness, I try to do good, and I try to do good, and then I'm so tired of doing good, and then I do bad. If anyone's like me, that's probably how the story goes, right? I'm going to do good. And my own strength, I get tired of doing good, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to choose the good. I'm going to choose the easy. But God never intended for us to be the good thing. He intended for us to show how good God was. He intended for us not to show how good Madeline is, because that ends up being pretty not so good. He intended for us to show how good is our God. Let's reflect who God is. Now we are going to let's use the yellow. And we are going to say, when God created the earth, he said, let there be light, right? And if we go a little metaphorical, God was like this amazing light on the earth. He had this plan that was to say, hey, I want this whole earth to show my nature, show this good, show this loving God. And it was like the bright sun on the brightest day. Now, sin entered our earth, and it was like we went into nighttime. We had darkness. Darkness entered the earth, right? And it was like we had nighttime. Now, God had his people, though. Let's have the earth. So this is going to be the sun. So it's like God. This is going to be the earth, nice and green, right? And this is like God's people, us. And this sun, earth, and God's people are like the moon. Now, who here knows how the moon gets its light? Is it light itself? Is it like a flashlight? No, it's not like a flashlight. It actually has no light. If you take the sun out of the equation, the moon's basically just dark on its own. But how does the moon get its light? It reflects the light of the sun. The sun is the source of the light, and in the nighttime, the moon lights up the sky because it's reflecting the light of the sun. Thank you, science teachers, for being able to teach us that. If you haven't learned that yet, ask your teachers how the moon gets its light. You'll find out the moon gets its light from the sun. So in our night that we have because of sin, we've got the sun that's gone. Say the sun's gone down because it's nighttime, but we've got the sun that's sharing its light with the moon, reflecting its light from the moon onto the earth. Now, I don't know about you, but there's some nights when I do not see a full moon. There are some nights when instead of making itself available to all of the light of the sun, the moon is like, you know what? Actually, I'm going to let the earth, can you see that there? I'm going to let the earth get in between me and God. I'm going to let what people think get between what actually God thinks. And what happens? What happens? Well, you know what? The moon is dark. None of the moon is visible. Now, what happens if I say, okay, you know what, God, I'm going to experience a little bit of your goodness, and I'm going to share a little bit of that goodness? We get what we see as a little sliver of the moon. And it's a little light. You can a little bit see that the sun is reflecting off of it, but it's not really bright. What about if we say, you know what? We are more important than the sun, and we're going to show how great we are like this. Well, you might not have seen that in a while, but this is what we call an eclipse. And the sky is not actually that bright because the moon is blocking all the light of the sun. If we say, hey, world, see how amazing we are rather than how amazing God is, the sky is not actually that bright. Now, however, if we give all of ourselves to God, if we say, God, you know what? I want to experience all of who you are, the love and the light that you are. And I say, you know what? I'm going to make myself fully available to you. And not only am I going to experience that light, I want to share that light. If we say, I'm going to make myself fully available to God, it's like when we have a full moon. It might not be full daytime brightness. It might not be what we're waiting for, which is when Jesus Christ comes again and he makes his light and his love fill the whole earth. But when we see a full moon in the sky, you think, wow, it's almost as bright as day. And that is what we, as followers of God, are called to do. We're called to say, hey, God, I want to give my whole life to you. Not just a sliver, so we've got a little bit of the moon showing and it's still dark. No, we want to give our whole life to you. And that means we want all of your love that we experience to reflect back on the world. And you know what? In kind of this time when the world is not the brightest of places, I think that's what we're called to as Christians, to say, hey, Lord, I'm going to give you my life. And I'm going to reflect all of that light and love on the world around me. So do not grow weary of doing good. It's not about us just trying hard, working so hard and getting so tired doing good. It's us experiencing the goodness of God. Saying, hey, we have a great, great, great God. I want to experience how good he is, and I want to fulfill my purpose in showing the world how great our God is. And then it'll be almost as bright as day in the world around you. So thank you guys so much. I just pray that your week is filled with experiencing God's love and showing God's love to those around you. So we just, thanks for joining us today. Join us for our Fruit of the Spirit goodness at the link we sent out and for our whole Kids Quest. And we can't wait to see you next week. See you.